Bear markets create Bitcoiners, Bitcoiners create bull markets create shitcoiners, and shitcoiners create bear markets. I mean, I can't argue with that.
If the plaintiffs are the quote unquote investors in meme coins who lost money, I call bullshit.
Well, it's official. Trump becomes the 47th president. And when you look at the markets, I mean, you wouldn't be able to say so. Right now, everything's in the red. You look at Bitcoin right now, it's 103,000 at the time of this recording. Ethereum is trading at 3,300 at the time of this recording.
And Solana, which skyrocketed over the weekend, we'll talk a little bit about why that happened, is currently trading at $247. Big headlines over the weekend. We've got the meme coin mania dealing with Trump. We've got SEC lawsuits and also big funding rounds coming out. As always, I'm joined by Mike. We're the Making My Crypto cast. How are you doing, Mike?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing great. A lot to
crazy
discuss
weekend.
and unpack.
Crazy weekend.
It's crazy. And this is actually one of the reasons why I'm excited to announce that we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, because every other week, there's just way too many things that happen in order for us to do this every other week. So from now on, we're going to do this weekly.
We don't have enough time to do, it's funny, we don't have enough time in the show to do a bi-weekly show because there's so much that we had to cram in to that short amount of that hour that we record, right? So we got to do weekly. And just keep up with all the crazy stuff that's happening.
Crazy stuff. And obviously, it wouldn't be a story without talking about Trump, of course, and what he did over the weekend, how he launched Trump coin. And everybody, including myself, thought this was a scam.
And turns out this was fully legitimate, top 12, I believe, in market cap at one point.
Yeah, something like that.
And then on top of that, he got rugged by his wife, who launched her meme coin. And all of a sudden, Trump coin dropped like 50%, and now here comes Melania coin. It's insane to really comprehend what's happening, where we have now the current president launching his own token, and a lot of things to unpack here. How are you processing all this information that happened over the weekend?
So I don't know if this Trump family, if they're absolute crypto gigabrains, or they're bumbling idiots, or they're total grifters. I don't know what is happening over there. It's like you said, Trump announced it with a tweet, Trump coin. People had no idea whether it was a scam or not, right? And it just flies, absolutely flies. Melania comes next. The day after, the Trump coin's value plummets like 50%, losing like over 7 billion in market cap. But what's interesting is that Trump's DeFi project that we talked about on the show before, World Liberty Financial, those token sales, like more than doubled. Because of all the hype that was caused, I guess, from Trump coin and Melania coin. So they jumped from like 91 million cumulative token sales to 254 million in one day. So maybe there's some kind of genius move, strategic move there to sell those the World Liberty Financial tokens. But look, there's going to be, just like everything in crypto that we talk about, there's going to be good and there's going to be bad, right?
Yeah, real quick, Mike, I just want to point out that up to this point, there's no updates around World Liberty like buying any Trump meme coins or Melania Trump. So, so far that has not happened, but they obviously recently made a purchase on a lot of really reputable stuff, right? You've got, of course, like USDC, Ethereum, you've got Wrap Bitcoin, Torran, which is kind of a surprise in my book, but, they are the stablecoin chain, so to speak, and you've got Chainlink and Aave. So, they hold some decent stuff.
Again, let's go back to like the pros and cons, right? I think you align there's this is kind of the microcosm of the crypto world at large, right? Looking at the pros and cons of this specific crazy weekend. I mean, it's just so clear that it is a new day for crypto. You just had this administration for the last 4 years just absolutely pound on this industry and beat it to death. Now you have a president launching a meme coin. I've obviously unprecedented. So on that front, this is obviously a very refreshing new direction. And just kind of like going back to kind of the fundamentals of crypto, like look at the speed of just how fast they formed capital. Capital formation happened so quickly. It was literally one day, and Trump has a market cap of over 14 billion. I think Melania, I don't know what it hit. It hit multiple billions, 8 billion, I think. So people can now do capital formation just like directly from their audience, right? And very fast. And that's kind of one of the promises of crypto. That's great stuff. And this is bringing in a lot of new people. I think Moonshot people 400K new wallets on Moonshot because of these tokens. Anything on the good side you see that I missed?
Well, when you were talking about some of the good things, I thought about Phantom, because Phantom wallet handles 1.25 billion in Solana swaps during the gold rush for Trump tokens. I mean, that is insane. And they're actually in our headlines today once we get to the funding part. So definitely stay tuned for that. So, I mean, when it comes to onboarding, just new people to crypto, if you're looking for a retail catalyst, I think this was it. Right. The other thing that I want to point out is that most likely 2025 is going to be the highlight party, and also it's going to have a crash. That party's going to end at some point in 2025. So whether or not Trump launches this meme coin or not, I think you're still going to have something that is going to move the markets, because you need something insane in order to move such a high amount, right? You can't just have another Michael Saylor buy up Bitcoin. I mean, yes, that's great news, but if you really want to be a catalyst, you need something that is really out there, something that we haven't heard about, talked about. And this was it. So from a retail catalyst, which a lot of people in the industry were looking for, this was definitely it. There's some questions around the tokenomics, right? So we have to address that, like 80%. Sure. What's going to happen with that 80% that is not, that is locked up? I think depending on...
locked up by insiders. So 80% of the tokens are held by insiders, even though there's a vesting schedule.
Who are these insiders? Like, what are their intentions?
Right? Like, no, it's clear no one cared, or no one even cared to look. If they did look, they didn't care, because no one would buy a coin with those tokenomics if it were not this Trump coin, this kind of celebrity coin, right? So that's obviously not a great look, but again, no one gives a shit.
You're right, and I think only the president can probably get away with something like that. Like,
maybe only this president
launching
right?
this,
right?
And 80% of it is just kind of locked up, like whatever. Yeah. And there's a 36-month vesting period, which, I think that seems to be somewhat like nothing alarming there, besides the fact that, look, when it becomes unlocked, you're going to be in the middle of a bear market. But I think the larger story here is, what's that?
Are we, like, maybe with this administration, like, that doesn't happen, right? Like,
until I'm proven wrong, I will always say that there's a 4-year cycle. I find it hard to believe. So for me personally, not from investment advice, of course, but just what I'm personally doing is I'm treating it like a 4-year cycle, because every cycle there's going to be something that is, oh my gosh, this is brand new. We've never had this before. And yet what happens? History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. And I'm confident that this will be different. I mean, no different, I should say. And if it is different and I'm proven wrong, I will gladly own up to that. Gladly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're moving. I think that 4-year bear bull cycle is still there. I think we're kind of moving into. It's getting a little different. It just feels like maybe a little bit of the quote unquote maturation of this industry might move us a little bit towards kind of a little more stability. I don't have the data to back that up, but it's just something that I feel that could happen. But yeah, like I don't know what to expect for the next 4 years. I have no idea what's going to happen.
I want to get your thoughts on something, Mike. So I had Patrick on the show, and we talked about, this is way out there, right? So I'll preface by saying that. But he brought out the notion of, what if Donald Trump decides to provide this as almost like a stimulus, like gift, essentially, tokens to the American people? If he was to give that to the American people, I mean, how would you look at this overall
meme coin idea that he came up with, or I don't know if he came up with it, but the administration did.
I mean, look, you want to talk about mass adoption, that is absolutely the absolute, bull case for mass adoption. And, do you, again, there's a lot of this where I don't want to always, I want to kind of toe the line in terms of like, there's like the, crypto purists that, want full decentralization, in it for the tech. And, I'm kind of centrist, but like, I obviously see the value of meme coins and how they can help adoption, but on the other hand, I want to see the tech be taken seriously and use, for good and for real use cases. Having the government pass out meme coins is like not what our original vision for crypto was. But it's in the same vein of like the institutions coming and getting involved, right? Like that it isn't necessarily what we're here for, though it's good for adoption, right? So, again, like with anything else, there's just going to be this good side and this bad side. And, I'm somewhere in the middle there. I don't think that'll happen. I think, kind of that there was talks of like this strategic U.S. reserve, buying like U.S., tokens that are launched by U.S. companies, like Ripple, USDC. Though I don't know why you reserve USDC. But that's maybe a little bit more reasonable and likely. But like everything else, it comes with the good and the bad.
Well, last thing I want to say, and I want to speak up for the Bitcoin maxis out there that look at the stuff and are just like shaking their heads, because I saw Benjamin Cohen post this. It says bear markets create Bitcoiners, Bitcoiners create bull markets create shitcoiners create bear markets. I mean, I can't argue with that. I really can't. I try to find a reason to, but I can't argue against that.
And it's tough for like the DeFi protocols and the builders in this space that are, building real tools to see that, the Trump coin hit a market cap larger than theirs, in a day. And these are the big boys too, the Uniswaps, like the Aves and like, and then, you just see meme coins just getting all the hype and, and the DeFi coins are kind of just sitting there stagnant. That's hard. Like, I don't think the builders care, right? They're just building. I think a lot of times their mission is different. But like I got to think that a lot of people are just saying, WTF, like, how is this happening? What are we here for? And, it's again, there's the good, there's the bad, and that's unfortunate.
It's almost a knock on people that actually use their brains in this space to build things, to think about how to invest in certain cryptocurrencies because of what they do, because of the utility, as you spoke about. And to make things worse, you have SEC going after some of these use cases where there is actual utility there. SEC sues Nova Labs over alleged unregistered crypto securities offerings. So Nova Labs, if I'm not mistaken, that's Helium. Is that right, Mike?
That is Helium. Yep.
Yeah. What do you make of this story?
It is the last swing of the bat for an outgoing administration to do what it's been doing for the last 4 years. And this is, I actually had an argument with my friend, and just like anyone else who is not in the industry, they're just, what is crypto good for? It's good for rug pulls and scammers to take money from people, and the government should protect these people. Like, Helium is building real world utility, right? I use Helium mobile on my phone. Okay. It is $20 a month, right? It is cheaper. They built this network faster than all these legacy mobile network providers, using the power of crypto, right? It's a legit company. They've been operating for years, and the SEC goes after them on their, the last 2 days of this administration's existence for the same bullshit reasons that they've been going for every other legitimate project, right? Like, go after the scammers and the rug pullers, right? Go after the people who are just launching, meme coins and then dumping and then running. Don't go after.
I was going to say, Mike, to your point. I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying. You're saying go after people that are just out there for cash grabs, and don't go after people that are building real things.
I mean, what do you make of this case? Because this is another legal attack on Pump.Fun. They're being sued by the New York court for alleged pump and dump schemes, poor KYC, AML protections, and marketing to minors, which we saw that on a live stream, right?
So, I mean, what do you make of this legal case?
Okay. If you want to go, all right, like if the plaintiffs are the quote unquote investors in meme coins who lost money, I call bullshit, right? Because you can't have it both ways, right? You can't make hundreds of thousands of dollars on meme coins and not expect some losses, with ones that rug or just don't go anywhere, right? You're not if you want to play that game, if you want that only benefit of it, you're not a quote unquote investor. You're a gambler, and you should expect that you're going to lose some, and you should.
Well, I was going to say the attorney in this particular case, his argument is that it's rigged. So yes, there's an opportunity to win, but unlike a casino, it is much more rigged. I mean, do you believe that?
I don't think it's rigged on Pump.Fun's behalf, right? It's just like the platform. It's the platform versus what's happening on the platform, right? Like if you talk about social networks, Twitter, Facebook, they're the platform, right? There's maybe there's some responsibility of what they allow on that platform, and I think that's obviously a very gray area, but they're the platform, right? So in this permissionless technology, and again, all this is kind of gray, and like the government's still trying to kind of figure it out, but like because people are losing money, and then you kind of just slap the manipulation game on the entire platform. I think that's bullshit. I don't know how that will stand up in the court of law and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure the lawyers will have great arguments on both sides, but like taking a step back and saying, oh, like you just, this investor, quote unquote investor, just like ate thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and lost it on this platform. Oh, they should get their money back because the platform, this permissionless platform allowed some things that, like bad things to happen. I think that's bullshit.
Well, regardless of the legal stuff, we just mentioned how
Phantom has definitely been reaping the benefits of this meme coin mania. And that actually brings us to our next story. They raised 150 million Series C to build the world's biggest consumer finance platform.
Series C is not something that you hear often when it comes to Web3 and crypto, but they're obviously top of their game and looks like gaining a lot more strength. Mike, what can you tell us about this raise?
Yeah, so they raised from Sequoia, Paradigm, A16Z, Variant, huge names. This Phantom is just a great product, right? It is it was just, regardless of what chain it is, it's primarily a Solana product, right? So obviously it's been benefiting from all the activity, just this past weekend and the past year or so that Solana has and all that growth. It's a cross-chain wallet, but it's primarily a Solana wallet, and it's a great wallet. It's an amazing UX. It is just a very good product, and like we don't have enough of those in the crypto space. So obviously, well-deserved valuation, well-deserved fundraise, and they're going to continue to be the primary beneficiary of all the activity that's happening on Solana.
What do you think they're going to build? Like, what do you think that raise was for? Is it just a marketing gimmick, or do you think they actually need the funding to execute on specific goals?
There's a lot of room for growth, as we can see here, right? So they, I think what part of that is like they kind of ran into some issues with all the volume that was happening with the meme coins. So kind of shoring that up. But there's a ton of room for growth here, to overall grow the pie, especially keeping up with all the stuff that's happening with Solana. So I imagine a big chunk of that will go to the engineering, go to the marketing to move that growth along.
Something else in the news that is not necessarily a wallet, from my understanding, but more of a communication layer between applications and a wallet is WalletConnect, which I believe they just rebranded to Reown, and they secured a 11 million Series A. What can you tell us about this one?
I actually think it was 12.5. And the round was led by Union Square Ventures and 1KX, a couple other very big names. So yeah, we all are familiar with WalletConnect as a way to log into many of these dApps. Nice smooth wallet login. And I think they are going to use these funds to kind of decentralize their infrastructure. And also to kind of push the bridge, maybe similar to what Phantom is doing. Bridge Web 2 and Web 3, bring in more people into the space. But I think when they say decentralized infrastructure, a lot of times that's going to mean building a DAO, potentially launching a token, and open sourcing their product to kind of decentralize. So I think that's going to be the use of these funds to be able to do that.
Last but not least, Mike, is somebody that's somewhat close to you. Looks like, is it pronounced Torran? They secured a pre-seed closure, and that's with Deep Ventures, which is obviously you're the co-founder of Deep Ventures. So what can you tell us about Torran and kind of what went into your thesis when determining to invest in this?
Yeah, sorry to shill one of our portfolio companies, but it is very interesting. Got to give a shout out to Torran. So they're building Bitcoin DeFi infrastructures, starting with a decentralized Oracle network on the L1 for Bitcoin. So the most decentralized you can get. They've raised a $710K pre-seed round from Draper Associates. That's Tim Draper. Boost VC, which is Adam Draper. Deep Ventures. They went through the Bitcoin DeFi accelerator. And there was a bunch of others, Blockchain Founders Fund, Sidedoor Ventures, a lot of people that I know and are great funds. So yeah, they're building essentially one of the tools that's going to facilitate true DeFi on Bitcoin, right? If you take something like the chain link of Bitcoin to start, they're also going to build indexer tools for faster chain analysis. Yeah, they're building all this kind of low-level infrastructure that's going to help DeFi live on Bitcoin. So I think it's super interesting. Love the team, and they're building in. We know a lot of the Bitcoin ecosystem is booming. It's kind of starting about almost 2 years ago now with the launch of ordinals, and now there's a ton of layer 2s. There's a ton of DeFi protocols. And we think Torran is gonna really sit in the middle of all this activity and all these DeFi primitives being built on Bitcoin and on the layer 2s.
Phew! All right, we got through a lot there today, Mike.
Yeah, man.
A lot. This was exciting. Thanks so much again for bringing to us 3 projects that are currently receiving funding. And if those that are watching, if you found this information helpful, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, make sure to give Mike a follow. His links are in the description. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.